This week, former liquor baron Vijay Mallya was declared bankrupt by a British court. It should mean a consortium of Indian banks, led by the State Bank of India, can now pursue a worldwide freezing order on Mallya's assets to seek a repayment of the debt owed by the now defunct Kingfisher Airlines. Meanwhile, the Indian government is continuing to fight in the UK to get Mallya extradited to India to face trial here. Legal opinions over the implications of the UK court verdict are mixed. Some feel that Mallya won't be able to afford his luxurious lifestyle, since his bank accounts will be frozen and he will be required to hand over all his assets to a bankruptcy trustee. In this case, Mallya's means may be completely squeezed, and he may be allowed to only withdraw money to buy essentials. Other legal experts feel his subjective standard of living will be an irrelevant consideration in the bankruptcy order. Either way, Mallya's bankruptcy has much larger implications for his global assets, which may now be frozen, thus helping Indian banks recover a substantial portion of their dues. We talked to some experts to figure out the larger implication of this court order on Mallya's legal battle with Indian banks and law enforcement agencies. According to British law, a bankruptcy trustee takes charge of a bankrupt person's financial and physical assets. These assets include his credit, debit cards, bank accounts, etc. The trustee would reconcile all assets and liabilities to pay off debtors. There would also be restrictions on personal spending for a bankrupt person. Mallya would need the court's permission to engage in business activities or be a part of the board of directors of a company. Mallya could still appeal against the order in a higher court. But what are the differences in the application of bankruptcy laws in the UK and in India? Faisal Sherwani, partner at law firm L&L Partners, told us that at their core, the thesis and logic were the same, while statutes obviously differed. There are some key differences in the manner of operation of the trustee, who is not required to take permission from the creditors under the bankruptcy laws in the UK. This is a departure from India's insolvency and bankruptcy code, where creditors play a key role in decision making. Unlike under the IBC in India, where only financial creditors are conferred with voting powers, in the UK law, all creditors can participate in the voting process. It is important to note here that the bankruptcy verdict may not have a direct bearing on India's separate extradition case against Mallya. However, the verdict could be cited by India's lawyers as a relevant fact during extradition proceedings. For lenders, future course of action could mean another round of court battles for seizing Mallya's foreign assets. Lenders will have to identify Mallya's assets in other jurisdictions. Mallya could challenge this order, but in all likelihood, his assets in the UK can be sold and realized. It may not be that simple for other jurisdictions, which have different bankruptcy laws. Legal teams could examine whether other creditors can make a claim on Mallya's estate. To sum it all up, Mallya's extradition to India may still be a distant possibility. But his bankruptcy certainly means that he is no longer the king of good times.
If you liked this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.